All right, Shalom. This is Harawan Ban Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakakodash Shema Ma. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is a article from The Hill, and it's speaking about a million Maga march in DC. All right, supposedly this Saturday coming up. Now, basically all hell is about to break loose. And there is a civil war happening right now. You have a civil war dealing with the media, different viewpoints with division here in America. All right, and it ultimately is going to turn into a physical civil war. All right, so now the elites, they basically have the playing field set. All right, this election helped to separate and filter out who's on what side. What side are you on? It's like the truth, the sift, and the scriptures help to sift out who's in the truth and who's not. Now the election helped to separate two different factions of people. Some call the left, some call the right. Some call Democrats, some call Republicans. All right. Some for the BLM and some for making America great again. It's a bunch of confusion. That's why America is called Babylon. This place is built and will end in confusion. And that, as it gets closer to the end, it's going to become more and more confusing. All right. But they had it in, I'm going to put it as the thumbnail. They have two sides opposing each other. Democrats, Republicans. And that's also in Revelations 13, the two horns. Now, and in the midst of that, they're supposed to try to push this New World Order, RFID microchip. Now, speaking about vaccines, you're going to have people protesting that. All right. But now they're talking about a trucker strike on the 29th. So, hey, man, let me get this. Let me read it. It says, Mick and Nani predicts quite large turnout at million MAGA march in DC. Esau funny, man. Cause that Jake had the Million Man March. Now they got the Million MAGA March. All right, they done took a word and took the initials of it, MAGA, Make America Great, and they incorporated it. I mean, and branded it and put it on hats and sold it. They making money. All right, it's all a scheme, man. And you see, the Captain America Civil War, and it says they have the picture. They have Joe Biden on one side, and the blue, and Trump in the red. And it's weird. It's funny because if you look on TV, all you saw was blue and red. And then if you once Biden won, everything was blue. When Trump won, everything was red. They put in color schemes to these two Edomites to try to help and further the separation, make it look like two opposing sides when they're really on the same side. You see that? They're all pushing the elite's agenda. They're all pushing that Edomite supremacy agenda, satanic agenda. All right. Period. So whoever stays in office, which I believe Trump's going to try to stay in office, then the Civil War going to break out. He going to wind up winning the votes or something. And then the BLM or whatever you want to call it, the Baal, Lucifer, Molech, organization. They're gonna start a civil war. All right, and on the opposing side, they're going to try to protect and defend the president, as you see them doing now. And you have what did Trump call out for? He said, "Proud Boys stand by." Now the Proud Boys are a white supremacist group, and they just fired their leader, which was Cuban. They got him out of there, and they said, "Hey, they're showing themselves to the world as a white supremacist organization now." All right, they're all about white supremacy, basically Edomite supremacy. So this is supposed to go down this weekend. So it says predicts a quite large turnout at Million Maga March in DC. And it says, look at this. If the video play, I'll play it, but I don't think it will. Hold on. Nah, I wouldn't play. I'll just read it. It says, disparate groups are reportedly preparing for the event, with one gathering scheduled to take place at the Freedom Plaza. Esau want to talk about freedom. Cool out. And you got a lot of Jakes mixed up in there, mingled up in there with that MAGA stuff, man. They're pro-Constitution. They're pro-Constitution, so they call themselves the average American, basically. And you'll hear them talking like Kanye, the MAGA hat. All right. So it says Washington, D.C. at 12 p.m. with a march to the Supreme Court at 2 p.m. A counter-protest called Fuck MAGA. Oh, shit. A counter-protest called F MAGA. So they basically saying F making America great again. Yeah, this is funny. All right, so a counter-protest called F MAGA, has also been planned by All Out DC to happen nearby. The groups involved include Stop the Steal DC, the Proud Boys, and Oath Keepers, according to a report by DCIST. All right, so these are all militias. Urgent poll. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. It says Politico reported that groups such as Women for America First, the Right Side, Broadcasting Network, and InfoWars' Owen Schroyer are among those promoting or organizing events. It also reported that a prominent white national who leads the Groyper Army group is setting up rallies in swing states and in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. So it's going to be spread out, not just in D.C. It's going to be in different states. All right. Like I think swing states was like Arizona. I think they still banking on Georgia and Carolina or Virginia. It says people want to show up and have their voice heard. I mean, this president, look, he got more votes than any Republican nominee, or for president, I should say, in the history of our country. And indeed, he got more Republican votes as any nominee in the history of our party back in 2016. McKinney said Thursday after being asked about the event. McKinney just last week predicted that Trump would win the election in a landslide. He ended up losing, though he and his campaign have refused to concede the election. All right, it's like I said he was gonna do that in the videos. His niece said he was gonna do that. He wasn't gonna give up his seat. So all hell could break loose between now and January. We continue to follow those activities and be prepared for those activities. Our police chief will have a similar posture this weekend as he did last week, and we will be there to support peaceful exercise of First Amendment demonstrations. She said, "All right, so no, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some violence, but once somebody start letting off shots, that's it, man. It's gonna be all down slope from there, slippery slope, as the Russians like to say. You know, so they're basically stoking the fire. That's what this is, man. They're stoking the fire. You know, getting it prepared. All right, so they got a million MAGA march. I guess that's McKinney. A large turnout at million MAGA march. A million Edomites. No, it's a joke. It's gonna be because you know it's gonna be Jake mixed up in there too. All right, Moabites, all these other different nations mingled on both sides. You know, so they basically represent the world, man. They represent wickedness or heathendom. Even our people, they're part of that. You know, 2/3 of our people that are mixed into that bullshit. All right, this is Zephaniah 3 and 18. So seeing everybody gather together around the world, different nations are creating new bilateral or multilateral agreements or bilateral agreements, more direct agreements with each other, becoming allies and separating themselves from America. All right, nations are gathering over in the Middle East for Armageddon, and here in America, they're gathering in the streets. And in the midst of that, the Lord is gathering his army in the spirit. All right, Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me. So us in this truth, we're going to wait on the Lord. We're not going to go out there and try to get vain glory or go out there and try to gain the kingdom yourself. You know, like a Black Panther or the NFAC with the guns and shit. All right. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. And who's the prey? All these Edomites that's on that MAGA shit, or just Edomites in general. And 2/3 of our people represent the prey as well, man. In this age, okay, and the rest of the heathens. So the Lord said he's going to rise up to them, man. But you got to bring them out first. You want to see who they are. You know, this is going to be a showcase for everyone to see when the Lord starts judging. Well, he already began his judgment. But the scriptures say the slain of the Lord shall be many. For my determination is to gather the nations. All right? Through shit like Maga, there be all those that are in that mindset are being gathered. All right? The Lord is drawing them all together. You see that? Drawing them all out into the streets. Or into one mind. So when he show up, he could push them to the left, and he'll push his elect to the right and give them their inheritance. And the wicked, he's going to give them their inheritance, which is going to be destruction. Okay. It says that I might assemble the kingdoms. So he's gathering the nations and he's assembling the kingdoms around the world. All the different countries and the rulers of them. All right. And they just had, what was his name? Vladimir Putin sitting on the damn throne yesterday. He said he's going to be in office for the next 35 years. Like, man, he going into slavery too. All right. So it says what? For the Lord's determination is to gather the nations. So this is a part of that gathering. One or millions of people in the streets in division in America or Babylon. All right, that's a perfect setting for the fall of a kingdom. It says to pour upon them mine indignation. So I'm gonna read it again. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms. All right, and also Esau's kingdom against Jacob's kingdom. All right, or the Lord's kingdom, the elect. To pour upon them mine indignation. All right, so the Lord gonna pour upon them his righteous anger, his vexation, his wrath, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Proverbs 11:21. All right, so you got everybody holding hands, marching, you know, Jake out there in the streets marching with them on both sides. But the scriptures say this, man, Proverbs 11:21, though hand join in hand, all right, though they all out there supporting each other, and, you know, Esau trying to be nice to Jake, and Jake being nice to Esau and these other heathens. The Lord said, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So the elect of Israel shall be delivered, man. But the wicked, they're still going to be punished, man. I don't care who wins the votes, what side wins. Jake feel like they did something, you know. But the Lord ultimately has a judgment coming on this place, man. All right, I'm gonna read this real quick because this happened to ancient Babylon when it fell, you know. So in 540, the 539 BC, there was division, all right, over who they were gonna follow, Nebuchadnezzar, or were they gonna follow, what you call Chaldean beliefs, all right. They were basically worshiping two different idols. I think one was Marduk, and the other one was I forget, but it was basically a division between those heathens worshiping the moon, or was they going to worship the sun? And that's why Nebuchadnezzar got what you call, man, the armies over there, they ran up on Nebuchadnezzar and exposed, kicked him out of the kingdom for a little while. But it was really all because of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, bringing judgment upon that, what you call Babylon at that time. All right. And then once this guy Nebuchadnezzar was on a journey going around teaching about the moon and howling at the moon and shit, the Lord had him go crazy out there and turn into a lunatic. That's where you get the term lunatic from, worshiping the moon and being affected by it. And the Lord had him turn into animalistic mind, to where his nails started growing like fucking claws and his hair was growing like a fucking eagle. And he was out there eating with the animals and shit and forgot who he was. So he was away from the kingdom. He was a king. But then when he realized who the true God is, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's when the Lord allowed him to go back to his kingdom right before they would destroy it. He killed, the Lord destroyed his son, Belshazzar. All right. So, so anyway, that's how Babylon fell under Cyrus the Great, the Persians and the Medes. So now the Lord is doing the same thing. It was rotting from the inside out. And America is that same, or not the same, but a reflection of Babylon. That's why it's called the daughter of Babylon. All right. So now it says this, Jeremiah 51:33, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel. See? And he's showing himself again today. All these people into Christianity, into these government factions, into these atheistic beliefs, all these different religions. Well, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his true name, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai, is about to rise up to the prey. And he's the one that's calling all these nations into the streets. Verse 33, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. A threshing floor is where you would thresh and winnow the wheat and the grain. You flick it up in the air and filter it and see what your seeds and stuff like that, man. The threshing floor is where you sort of look like a scoop or a broom. You fling all the grain into the air and you separate it. All right. And that's what America's set up for. This is the threshing floor. So it says this: it is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. All right. And that's where we at right now, man. So I'm going to end it with that and say, Shalom.